You learn a lot about yourself as you go about breathing life into your dreams. The daily actions you need to take, the tough conversations you have, the hurdles you need to clear, and sometimes the walls that come up all show you what you're made of.
Hello, and welcome to the Connect podcast. This show is all about helping you connect to your soul's calling so you can take action on it. Because the sweetest success is a blend of discovering your purpose with the inner drive to bring it to life. I'm Sheila, health coach, lifestyle entrepreneur, and mom of two, best known for my online wellness programs, mentoring, and self-love passion. Listen in for inspiring interviews, solo chats, and Q&A sessions that will move you past overwhelm towards what lights you up. Stop accepting good enough and go for your version of great in your health, business, and relationships. Let's get started.
Hi, welcome to this Monday minisode where I share an insight designed to help you live into what lights you up this week. I wanted to share with you this podcast is going to be having a new sound. It has been 2 years since I started Connect with Sheila, and I feel like it's time for some new music and such. So I just wanted to give you a heads up. It's going to sound a little different when you're listening in. I hope you like it. I'm thrilled with growth and change and more goodness. It's something that we can bring into our life in so many different ways. So with that in mind, think about in your own life as you're heading into this new season, what's something that you can refresh in your home, in your life, in your wardrobe, and something that is yours, maybe even in your routine, that just makes you get a little bit more pep in your step. It's always accessible to us, even if it's like getting a different hand soap for your bathroom or something like that. Like I love scents. I'm very sensory. Maybe it's a new candle. Maybe it's a new kind of kombucha you like to drink or a new sparkling water or something like that. Try something new. It's amazing what happens when you bring that creativity in the simple things. So be watching for that. That'll be coming in one of the coming episodes. I just wanted to give you a heads up here. Today's minisode comes from a conversation I had with someone recently about bringing some new work into the world, and they're showing up in a new way. They were feeling like so many doors were opening, and at the same time, they were perceiving some resistance to the change from some people around them, and also some outright challenge from someone very close to them. This sometimes happens when we're moving into a new area of work or we're expanding in some way in our life. And some people are afraid of expansion for this very reason. They don't want to come up against the resistance. But let's think about this for a moment. We like to move our bodies, hopefully, to stay healthy. Our bodies were meant for dynamic movement, whatever that looks like for you, whatever kind of exercise, whether it's walking, we're meant to lift heavy things and move our bodies, periodically through the day, through the week. It really just helps us. It helps our structure. And so this is the thing. If we are sitting and not moving our bodies over time, things start to break down in our bodies. But if we are regularly moving things, lifting things, pushing things, pulling things, like the resistance is what keeps us strong. And so it's the same thing that happens as we're growing in other areas of our life. And sometimes it hurts, just like when you do an added weight in your weight resistance activity. Like lately, I've been using 20-pound free weights instead of 12. It's a little bit of a difference there when you're doing shoulder presses with a 20-pound compared to two 12-pound dumbbells. So it hurts maybe the first few times, a few days after you've done that. And then it becomes easier. And then the muscle grows. And then you're able to do new things. And now for myself, I'm able to do push-ups with less pain in my wrist or my shoulder. I was actually having some pain for a while. So I was laying off of the heavier things. And so I've built my way back up to them. And now I'm feeling really good. So that is an example in the physical of what can happen in the emotional. So this friend I was talking to, I shared a practice that has evolved over the years for me that serves me so well in these situations. And it's something I keep getting a new download about continually. Each time resistance comes up, I learn something new about myself and about the situation. So I wanted to share it with you. Truly, you learn a lot about yourself as you go about breathing life into your dreams, like the daily actions that you take, the tough conversations you have, the hurdles you need to clear, and the walls that come up all show you what you're made of. And I love to lean into ease as much as possible in my life. You hear me talk about it all the time. Simplify your wellness. Don't make life so hard on yourself. Sit with it. Take the space, rest, build yourself up. It doesn't have to be hard. It can be easy. And what I've also found, there's always the contrast. The tough stuff brings out so much within us that is incredibly illuminating. And so I want to invite you into looking your resistance in the face and saying, thank you for all the goodness that it actually brings in your life. When you face a struggle head on, when you're faced with a tough conversation, when you're faced with a decision to make that maybe not everybody's on board with, but you just know in your heart of hearts it's something you need to do and you're fully committed to it. You're going to know you can't please everyone. That's like definitely the equation for sadness is trying to please everyone. You're just going to be very frustrated in trying to do that. And so being true to yourself and making sure that you are in tune with what is best for you and your dreams, sometimes that resistance, actually almost all the time, that resistance will come up in some form. And when it does, it also shows you how badly you want this thing. What are you willing to do to move forward? What are you willing to let go of? What are you willing to look at from your past, to face, to mine through, so that you can move past it and into the higher version of who you are, or the most true version of who you are, whatever that looks like for you? There are so many gifts to this. And on the other side of it, in my own experience, what I had shared was I found myself coming up against some resistance because I had an idea of some things I wanted to do, and it wasn't being really well received, probably because the idea was very much in my head, and it takes time for things to formulate at times, of course, and then also the actions that it takes to move things into fruition. It just takes some time. And so when you see it so clearly in your head, what you want it to look like, and conveying that to other people who may not be in the same headspace as you, that's where the resistance can come from sometimes. And so what I found really helped me was, first of all, asking myself, how badly do I want this thing? Is this direction I'm going? Is it truly going to be life-changing for me? Is it a deal breaker? Is it something I absolutely need to do? And then what is the time frame I'm willing to put into this? And this is something very interesting. If I'm giving myself a short time frame on something that I truly in my heart know that is so important, the time frame doesn't feel right. It's kind of like it's just going to happen. It is inevitable. You just know it. It's kind of like knowing when I got married, I knew that I wanted to have a family. I didn't know how that was going to happen specifically. Like, would I be able to conceive? Would I be able to, experience motherhood in a different way? Like some of my friends through IVF, some of my friends through adoption. There's so many beautiful ways to be a mother and to be a family. I just knew I wanted to be a mother. And when I made that decision, it wasn't like, okay, if by this time it doesn't happen, then it's not happening. That wasn't even in the equation in my mind. And so that's an example. If you've put a timeline on it, maybe either you're really afraid or it's maybe not right for you at this time. But if it's more like this feeling of, I know it's going to happen, I just need to do this. I need to do it now, and it's going to unfold as it's going to unfold. And the way it unfolds is beautiful, however that looks. Having that kind of detachment from a timeline for me has always helped me when the resistance has come up. But the resistance does show me how badly I want something. What am I willing to do? What am I willing to come up against? And then the second part of this was the conversations that I would have or the resistance I would experience from others about this particular thing. I actually realized it was a gift to me because it was, in fact, showing me, well, how badly do I want this? If I didn't have that resistance, I probably would have been putting it off, and just it would have been a dream in my head that I never would have taken action on. And that's when I got this idea. I need to thank the resistance. And thank whoever is giving me this resistance, and thank the resistance within myself even, because it's showing me how badly I want this thing. That is what I shared with my friend. And that is what I hope lands with you as well. What is it in your life that you really, really want? And either you're finding it's really hard moving up against that resistance, or maybe it's not for you now. It's okay to change our mind. It's okay to put things back on a shelf for later if now is not the time. But what is your resistance telling you? And I'm here to invite you into thanking your resistance for how far it has gotten you in your life and where it will take you as well. We need to keep lifting these heavy things. So much of this heavy stuff is in our minds. And it's what I love to share with you on this podcast. I'd love to hear how this lands with you. And I am still so excited about Grounded, the self-care experience that is happening starting the 7th of September. If you want to feel as powerful in your body this season as you do in your business or the boardroom, a new program is here for you. It is called Grounded. Send me a message. You can email hello@sheilabatello.com for further details. This is something that is going to be held live, and then the recordings will be available in a portal because I have an international community of people who love to tune in, and I like people to get their sleep when they're supposed to be sleeping. So I don't expect everybody to be there live all the time. It's the beauty of the internet and how we can serve. So if this sounds like something you would love to learn more about, please reach out to me either in the DMs on my socials at Sheila A. Batello or hello@sheilabatello.com. You will see a link in the show notes as well. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your week. And remember, embrace that resistance, see what it has to tell you, and thank it. Have a great one. Big blessings.
Thank you so much for being here with me on the Connect podcast. If you like this episode, please share it with someone you think would enjoy it. Also, if you head over to iTunes to leave a review, I'd be so grateful. Let us know what your favorite parts were and what you'd like to hear more of. It will help us have a greater impact, elevating many more people to grow and succeed together. See you next time.